Hello, hola, welcome back to the Rena MoMoney Plus YouTube channel. I'm your girl, Rena MoMoney. I come on this channel twice a week to bring you valuable information in reference to crushing it as a real estate investor, crushing it in your finance, crushing it with credit cards, and just ways that you could become a better you. Well, today I got another good one for you. We're going to talk about some tips and tricks for new real estate investors. I have a lot of information, so make sure you stay to the end. For this video, I'd highly recommend you getting a pad and pen. I'm gonna wait a second. Go ahead and get your pen. Okay, great. Now that you have your pen and your pad or your phone or your notepad, we're going to jump right into it because I have a lot of great tips and tricks for you. Whether you are a new investor, new wholesaler, a new realtor, if you are new in the real estate industry, you definitely want to stay to the end. So come on in. Number one, you first want to develop a plan. You say, Rena MoMoney, well, that's the obvious. Well, guess what? That's the start. Yes, I always have to mention the obvious and then I get down to the nitty gritty. So make sure you develop a plan. What do you mean by that? You want to set a schedule. Set a schedule for your marketing. Set a schedule for your cold calling. Set a schedule when you're going to do your due diligence. Always set a schedule. If you veer away from it periodically, that's okay. But if you write it down, you'll definitely come back to it. Also, as you're developing a plan, you want to focus on one niche. I know on this channel, I talk about so many different niches. I talk about so many ways you can buy real estate. I talk about ways to get the money to do the real estate. We talk about wholesaling, tax liens. We talk about seller finance and subject to. But you definitely want to focus on one niche. If you say, okay, I want to focus on being a wholesaler, then you start learning everything about wholesaling. So develop a plan, and that plan is going to help you decide on your next step and what you need to do. The second thing you want to do as you're developing a plan is make sure in your development that you're starting small. Don't go out and try to do 4 or 5 things. Don't go out and try to get the $500,000 loan. Everybody's small may be different. The third tip and trick that I want to talk about for new investors is to do your due diligence. You hear me say that all the time. Your research is very important. You say, Rena MoMoney, well, what is a part of due diligence? What all do I need to do? First, you need to understand and learn the value of property, the location. You need to also understand and learn the comps. One thing about doing your due diligence, you want to make sure you never buy at retail value. Remember, you are an investor and investors cannot buy at retail value. Investors need to also focus on location. The fourth tip and tool for new investors will be to get familiar with your contract. That is imperative that you get familiar with that. You need to know what to put on each line. Each deal will be different. Once you're familiar with your contract, you'll know what to write down and where to put the deposit. You'll know what to put if it's a subject to deal. You'll know where to write numbers if it's a seller finance deal. You can use the same contract even if it's a cash purchase deal. But each deal, each seller may have a situation. Remember, you're solving problems, and depending on how motivated they are, what you're going to do and what you're going to put on that contract. So get familiar with your contract. If you need contracts, look down in the description. I have contracts for you. Also, make sure you have contingencies in your contract. This is imperative on tip number 4. You want to make sure that the property is vacant. And to be honest with you, I just want them vacant, period, now. So it just kind of depends on you. If it depends if you're buying that property because it has a good paying tenant in there and you're getting good rent and you just want to start having income flowing, cash flow going. So it actually just depends. But for the most part, you want to make sure that your property is vacant upon closing and you don't want to inherit bad tenants or other occupants. So make sure you have that contingency in there. The fifth tip I want to give you is about being prepared. Be prepared to put in the hours. I also want to say, make sure you celebrate every win. I talked about that on another video. Celebrate all wins. Keep in mind, it's the small little things, the small accomplishments that lead up to the big deal, that leads up to the big accomplishment, which also leads up to the big money. So be prepared to put in the hours. If you are new and you have no creative financing going. You have no seller finance for this deal. You have no subject to for this deal. It's not a lease option. You have no other form but a cash deal. And you say, well, how am I going to get this money? Yes, there's so many creative ways out there and so many ways you can get funding, but I want to advise you to go with a hard money lender or a private lender for your first deal if you have no money. If you'd like further information on that, if you need that broken down, please comment in the comment section below. But you got to remember, you must invest in yourself. And to invest in yourself is to educate yourself. You're going to have to put something into this, whether it be in marketing and learning or making a mistake. You will pay money. You will come out some form of money. So invest in yourself. Schedule a coaching call with me. If you need additional help, you need step-by-step, you need your specific questions answered, schedule a coaching call with me at Kenley.com/Rena MoMoney. The next tip I want to give you is to start now finding private lenders. Regardless of what step you're in, regardless of where you're entering into this at, regardless. Private lenders usually do anywhere from 6 to 10% on the interest. Sometimes the private lenders don't even give you the cash. They just want to be a part of the deal. One of the places that you can go to find private lenders is connectedinvestors.com. A lot of private lenders are on that platform. You can look at that online, connectedinvestors.com. There's other places you can find them is through your friends and family or associate business partners that have money or want to put their money to use. There's also other places and other avenues that you can take to find private lenders, but those are the top ways to find private lenders. You also can get private lenders from other real estate investors. There's so many ways. So take time out and educate yourself. Now, if I'm saying anything that's helping you out, if you could do me a favor, all I ask is that you hit that like button, comment in the section below, and let me hear from you. Let me know exactly where you're at, what you're doing, what you want to do, and subscribe if you haven't already. Speaking of subscribers, I'm going to scroll across here, my new subscribers. Pay attention here. Give yourself a hand. Congratulations and thank you for subscribing and coming to the Rena MoMoney. Also like to thank the old subscribers for coming back, listening, getting this information so that you can become a better you. I appreciate you. Also, I want to throw out my appreciation month. This is my appreciation month. What I'm doing a Cash App giveaway. You must put your Cash App name, you must subscribe, you must like, and you must comment in a comment section with your Cash App. That is the only 4 things that you need to do to enter to win. I will be doing a separate video the first week of August announcing the new winners. So make sure you subscribe, you like, you comment, and add your Cash App in the comment. So let's get back to some more tips and tricks for new real estate investors. The next tip is to let people know you solve problems. You have to start out with that. I am a true stickler on solving problems. You have to let people know that you solve problems. The next tip is look into tax lien certificates if you don't want to actually acquire property, but you have a little money. Look into tax lien certificates. The next tip I want to give you is to go hard at building your buyers list if you are a wholesaler or trying to start as a wholesaler. Go hard at building your buyers list. On a previous video, we talk about that. I have some videos on step-by-step on how you can wholesale. Make sure you go down the Rena MoMoney Plus YouTube channel. Also, make sure you subscribe because I am constantly coming on here giving you valuable information. Also offering you coaching calls so that you can become a better you. Look in the description. I have information and resources in the description about where you can start and who you can start with that I've already researched or that I am personally using myself. So look in the description on things that you can use for marketing, like your text blasting and skip tracing and so many other resources. My next tip that I would like to give now that I'm speaking of resources, you want to do at least your text blasting. You want to get some road signs, some cold calling, and your social media ads. And make sure you do driving for dollars. Those marketing techniques are the 4 or 5 lines that you need in the water. And those are the least expensive methods on getting the deal. The next tip and tool I want to give you is about cold calling. Please don't cold call on Sundays. Don't cold call on Sundays. You say, well, Rena MoMoney, what's the best days to cold call? Well, we'll do a video on that, and we'll also break some of these other tips down on some future videos. The next tip I want to give to you is to make sure that you are always positive and you have a positive energy. Make sure that your tone is positive, and make sure that you smile while you're talking. Be sure to listen. That is a tip that I should have probably made number one. Make sure that you are listening carefully and closely to your potential seller. Sometimes the seller will answer the other question that you may have from the first question, or they may give you some information that you don't even have to now ask about the condition, because they may start out and saying, this place is a mess. I tell you, I just don't have the money. I got a quote, and the guy quoted me $4,000 just to put the toilet in and reset the toilet. So always listen. Now, you want to learn how to source your deals, learn how to respond to sellers and their questions. You need to learn this. And some of these tips and tools, if you get this down and you perfect your craft, you will not do anything but make money and more money and more money. So I hope this video was helpful. Thank you so much for joining, and make sure you come back. So thank you, and you take care.